Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Breeze, Breezeway Productions The Breeze, where we bring you the latest in independent films and film festival news. And we have with us today the producer of the film Elsa, which had a world premiere at the Rhode Island International Film Festival, Nina Yndis. How are you, Nina?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you for taking the time to speak with me today about Elsa. I found the film to be very fascinating, especially the background of the subject matter. So tell our audience a little bit about Elsa.
Thank you so much. That's really, that always warms my heart to hear that people connect with the film. Yeah, so Elsa is a short film that follows a Norwegian primary school teacher who lives under Nazi-occupied Norway. And during the war, she ends up having a romantic relationship with a German soldier, and gets branded quisling and traitor of the country as a result of that. And it is based on true events that happened to thousands of women in Norway and Denmark and France, other all occupied nations. Yeah, so it was a story that really fascinated me, that I felt hadn't been talked about a lot in our history books. So yeah, so we made a short film about it, and we are hoping to make a feature as well.
Wonderful. So you have a proof of concept that's going forward with Elsa, and I know that the subject matter, as you said, was certainly unique, which is what attracted which was what attracted me to the film. Why Norway, and what was the reason for making this film today?
Yeah, so I'm originally from Norway. So I mean, it's always interesting to dig back to your foremothers' history and sort of, learn what your family and like people went through in your from your culture. And so the idea came about because in 2015 I was cast to play the same character, but in a completely different theater play, also written by Lizzie Nunnery, who is our screenwriter for Elsa. But the theater show doesn't showcase Elsa's story at all. It's actually about two British soldiers who go to Norway to fight in the Battle of Narvik, and one of them has a romantic relationship with Elsa, who's in Oslo. And by the time he's finished battling in the Battle of Narvik, he goes back to, find her. The war is over, but then only to find out that she had a relationship with a German soldier. So his world is shattered, and then after each performance, the audience would come up to me and be like, it's really fascinating what Elsa went through. Like, we want to know more. What actually happened? Like, we'd never heard about it, or we wanted to know more about it. So Lizzie and I decided then that we should showcase more, or kind of dive deeper into her backstory, because we were also interested. And then, yeah, decided to write the short, and we got Rebecca King on board, our director, and later on Victoria Fäh, our co-producer, on board. And yeah, Elsa was birthed. So I am the co-producer on the short, but I also play the character of Elsa in the film.
Uh, that's a pretty heavy role to take. What was your preparation for it? As I know that you do what you have to do to survive, so to say. So you find yourself in a place of desperation in order to just get through the days under German occupied Norwegian territory. Give an idea of how you got into that.
Um, do you mean into the role of Elsa? Like
Correct.
what? Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, we read so many books on the topic, and also I read, yeah, books and master theses on the occupation, on the Nazi occupation of Norway, and also specifically the phenomenon of Tyskertös, which is translated to German whore, which is what these women were called. And I was like, what, like, how did this happen? Like, why would these women have relationships with German soldiers, and why was it frowned upon? And like, what, you know, diving into this taboo subject. So I think for me, going into preparing myself for the character of Elsa, I played quite a lot with the feeling of being sort of trapped and like feeling like she was in a very claustrophobic space, but not just in her basement. So she lives in a little basement, which is quite claustrophobic. Like the ceilings are low, and but also just feeling like she was being suffocated in the society she lived in. Being a woman, in the beginning of the film, she works for the resistance, and a lot of teachers during the time would refuse to teach the Nazi curriculum, and they also had a whole teachers movement, which Elsa is part of in the beginning. So she's a woman of purpose. She wants to have, she wants her voice to be heard, but ultimately feels like she's not, her voice isn't important because she is a woman. So what happened was that all of the male teachers, you know, were taken to prison camps to get punished, but then women weren't. And, you know, what does that say about whose voice is more important and whose isn't? I think also, yeah, by the end, it's almost like when you've lived under occupation for so many years, it's one thing in the beginning when your country's being occupied and it's violent and, you know, horrible things are going on. Norway was occupied for 5 years. So after a while, you know, you adapt to your circumstances. There was one German soldier stationed for every 10 Norwegian citizens. So you can imagine how many German soldiers were in Norway during the occupation. In some areas, there were more German soldiers than actual Norwegian citizens. So you had to, you know, adapt to the circumstances and in a way, you know, try to live as normal a life as possible.
You got to do what you got to do to survive. And
Do what you got to do to
yeah.
survive. Yeah. And I think for Elsa, meeting Christian, who's the German soldier, obviously he's going through his own breakdown. You know, he's fought in the war and he's not even sure what he's been fighting for, whether he's been fighting for the right cause or not. And so they're basically two broken humans by the end of the war who end up bonding, trauma bonding in a way, I think. And yeah, and they find a connection that way.
Connection
So
was definitely there. The story was riveting. I enjoyed the film tremendously. The subject matter was definitely something I had never heard of before, which is the reason why you made this film. And I feel like audiences definitely need to see it. The film is called Elsa. It played at the Rhode Island International Film Festival as a world premiere. Where are you guys off to next?
So we are currently developing the feature treatment with Lizzie. And we are planning some pitching sessions. So hopefully, I mean, we don't really know at the moment, but hopefully we will see some developments in that direction very soon. We have applied to more film festivals. Rhode Island was the first one, actually. So we're still waiting to hear back from many film festivals. So we're hoping that the film will be seen widely across, yeah, multiple platforms, because we want to
website
share.
people can go to check it out?
Yes, there is actually. The website is called elsashortfilm.com, where we update our festival screenings, and there's the trailer and more information about the whole team. And also, we're quite active on Instagram, and our Instagram handle is Women Like Elsa.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today. I truly enjoyed the film, and congratulations on the success of your world premiere. We hope our audience is able to check out the film Elsa. And Nina Yndis, thank you so much again for talking about Elsa.
Thank you so much for having me, Alex. It was a pleasure.